Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Finn fears there's something wrong with him and Bill and Liam celebrate Sheila's demise. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi tries to help Finn, Liam and Bill discuss Sheila and Finn, and Thomas and Hope remember Rome. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At the Cliff House, Finn tells Steffi, "I keep seeing her." She asks, who he replies, "Sheila," as he looks at the spot on the floor where she died and recalls the blood he put his hand in. He stammers that he knows it's not real, but it seems real. Steffi holds him and assures him it will be okay. At Il Giardino, Bill tells Liam that it will be a lot more enjoyable eating there now that Sheila is permanently out of commission and out of their lives. They fist bump. Talk turns to Steffi and Liam says she's partly relieved that Sheila's gone, on the other hand she is the person who killed her. Bill thinks it was her only option and she was totally justified. Liam agrees, but Steffi has to live with having killed somebody. Self-defense or not? Bill soon learns that Finn abandoned Steffi in her time of need and rants. Liam says he's all messed up over his wife killing his birth mother. Bill snaps that his birth mother is a psycho. Liam says that according to Finn, it's complicated. Bill's glad to hear Liam gave him a piece of his mind. Liam says he got defensive because he thinks he's waiting in the wings. Bill asks, "Is that what you're doing?" Liam recaps that Finn's focus should be on Steffi. "If he can't do that, I can." At Thomas's place, Hope teases him about not making brownies for dessert. He asks if she remembers the dessert they had in Italy. She gasps, "You made panna cotta." He did. Hope thanks him and says all of this has been so sweet. Thomas says it reminds him of the wonderful time he'll never forget. Hope smiles, "I'll never forget it either." Hope wants to help with the dishes, but Thomas tells her absolutely not and they start making out. Thomas tells Hope he loves the way she smiles, and the way she makes him smile. He admits he's feeling guilty about not being there to help Steffi. Hope assures him he's been a great support to his sister. Thomas recaps that Steffi went through something terrible. She's traumatized right now and he wishes Finn could put his stuff aside. Hope clears her throat, Finn is struggling. Thomas begins to rebut, and then remembers that they're not supposed to be talking about this. Talk turns back to Rome. Hope wants to go back. Thomas says, "We should." Hope asks, "What exactly are you saying?" At the Cliff House, Steffi wants to know what's going on with Finn. He tells her that he could feel a presence while preparing the fire. He felt it again, and then he saw it. His mom was lying there, bloody. When Steffi came back and they were on the couch, he saw it again, this time she called out his name. Sheila was right there on the floor. "What's happening to me?" he asks. At Thomas's place, Hope would like nothing better than for him to whisk her away to Rome. She misses it. They go over the last trip and Thomas tells her he couldn't forget anything they shared in Rome. They kiss and flash back to being together in Italy. Hope says it's where all of this started for them. Thomas tells her, "Rome will always be with us." Hope agrees that the romance and spirit of Rome has never left them. Thomas says he remembers the Colosseum above all else. Hope recalls that's where she finally gave in and kissed him. They flash back to that moment. Thomas muses, that's where our future began. The future that still awaits us. He fondles the ring on her necklace and they kiss. At Il Giardino, Bill tells Liam he's impressed that he told Steffi she can always count on him. He knows he will always love her and it's not just about Kelly. Liam confirms that his feelings for Steffi will never go away. She's part of him. At the Cliff House, Steffi tells Finn that Sheila is gone. This will take some time to process and make sense of it all. Steffi takes a call from Liam asking if everything is alright. She replies, "It will be," and lets him know she's with Finn right now. They LOL talk later. With that, she hangs up. At Il Giardino, Liam tells Bill that something's off with Steffi and he has a feeling it has to do with Finn. Bill snarks about the good doctor finally finding his way back home. Liam says Sheila is dead. Finn needs to let her be dead. Not just for his sake, but for Steffi's. At the Cliff House, Steffi assures Finn they will overcome this. "Tell me you understand that, Finn." She reminds him he's smart and analytical. They should talk about this as facts. Sheila died. She died here in our home. He wasn't there but the flashes are taking him there. She's been taken to the morgue. Finn knows all of that. He's not confused, but he doesn't know what's going on with him. Steffi thinks it's stress. Finn apologizes this isn't what she needs right now. Steffi shrugs, "It's what I signed up for. She doesn't want to go through this alone. We will overcome this, okay, as long as they're together." They LOL get through it. They embrace. Finn sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, the soft glow of the lamp casting long shadows across the room. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong with him. It gnawed at him, a persistent whisper in the back of his mind, taunting him with its ambiguity. He couldn't pinpoint what it was exactly, but it lurked just beyond his grasp, a dark specter haunting his every waking moment. He glanced around the room, searching for distraction, but his eyes kept drifting back to the mirror. There was a hollow look in his reflection, a weariness that seemed to seep into his bones. He ran a hand through his unkempt hair, frustration simmering beneath the surface. How could he confront this invisible enemy when he couldn't even name it? In the midst of his internal turmoil, the sound of raucous laughter echoed from the apartment next door. Finn frowned, his curiosity piqued despite himself. He leaned closer to the thin wall, straining to catch fragments of conversation through the barrier. "Finally kicked the bucket," a voice exclaimed, followed by another round of laughter. Finn's brow furrowed in confusion. He couldn't make out the words clearly, but the tone was unmistakable, joyous, celebratory. A chill ran down his spine as he considered the implications. Was someone celebrating death, and whose demise were they cheering? Pushing aside his own concerns for a moment, Finn found himself drawn to the mystery unfolding next door. With cautious steps, he made his way to the door, pressing his ear against the wood to eavesdrop further. "Never liked her anyway," another voice chimed in, punctuated by clinking glasses. His heart pounded in his chest as realization dawned on him. They were talking about Sheila, the elderly woman who lived down the hall. She had always been kind to Finn, offering a warm smile and friendly conversation whenever their paths crossed. He couldn't fathom why anyone would rejoice in her passing. A surge of indignation welled up inside him, propelling him forward with newfound determination. He had to confront them, to demand an explanation for their callousness. With trembling hands, he twisted the doorknob and stepped into the hallway, his gaze fixed on the door of the neighboring apartment. Meanwhile, in the apartment next door, Bill and Liam clinked their glasses together in celebration. The weight of Sheila's absence hung in the air, but they refused to let it dampen their spirits. For them, her passing was a cause for rejoicing, a liberation from years of obligation and resentment. She was a real pain in the ass, wasn't she? Bill chuckled, raising his glass to his lips. Liam nodded in agreement, a smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. Couldn't stand the sight of her. Always poking her nose where it didn't belong. Their laughter echoed off the walls, a sharp contrast to the somber silence that had pervaded the apartment in Sheila's final days. They had never been particularly fond of her, but her constant presence had been an unwelcome intrusion into their lives. Now, with her gone, they were free to revel in their newfound freedom. As they toasted to Sheila's demise, the door swung open, and Finn stepped into the room, his expression a mixture of disbelief and outrage. "What the hell are you two doing?" he demanded, his voice laced with anger. Bill and Liam froze, their laughter tapering off as they turned to face their unexpected visitor. They exchanged a nervous glance, suddenly aware of the gravity of the situation. "Mind your own business, Finn," Bill snapped, his tone defensive. "We're just having a drink to celebrate." Finn's eyes narrowed as he took in the scene before him. The empty bottles strewn across the table, the half-empty glasses of whiskey, the unmistakable air of revelry that hung in the air, it all painted a damning picture of their intentions. "You're celebrating Sheila's death?" he asked incredulously, his voice rising with each word. Bill shrugged nonchalantly, a smirk tugging at the corners of his lips. "Why not? She's gone, and good riddance, if you ask me." Finn's hands clenched into fists at his sides, his blood boiling with righteous fury. How could they be so callous, so heartless in the face of another's suffering? Sheila may have been a nuisance to them, but she was still a human being, a life cut short by the inexorable march of time. "You're sick," Finn spat, his voice trembling with emotion. "Both of you." With that, he turned on his heel and stormed out of the apartment, leaving Bill and Liam to stare after him in stunned silence. They exchanged a guilty glance, the weight of their actions settling heavily upon them. In the silence that followed, the echoes of Finn's words lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked within their own hearts. And as they sat alone in the dimly lit room, the emptiness of their victory tasted bitter on their tongues, a bitter reminder of the price they had paid for their callousness.